Hey folks, it's Dave Smith, Correctional Lifestyle. I just got off work, sitting in the park, sitting in the driveway at the house, and just thought I'd record this video for you. I'm proud of myself. I have managed to maintain without a single break in service 26 years of service as of July 1st, 2020. I have 26 years in the Department of Corrections. There's no parade. There's no big clap of thunder coming from the sky because woohoo, I hit 26 years. No, it's a silent celebration within myself, but I made 26 years. No break in service. I wish I had promoted faster than I did. That is the only regret that I've got from my career. I'm really not liking the way that things are going at work right now, and it has nothing to do with, it has nothing to do with the actual day-to-day work. It has everything to do with staffing levels, and staffing levels are just not good. But we're working on it. We've made a very positive, very positive stride in the right direction with the new budget that was signed, and that is going to give 3% raise to all state workers across the state of Florida, which I'm included in that, and then incentive raises for amount of time that you've been there. And I am personally eligible for a $3,500 raise on top of my base salary, which is going to put me at almost $55,000 a year. Not telling you anything you can't find out on your own. Florida Right to Know. It's a website you can go to and you can look up salaries. So yeah, it's going to help me quite a bit. I'm still putting 2 kids through college, so that's, yeah. They've been calling me a lot. Hey, we can't pay the bills. Please help. That extra money's coming in handy, I think. But yeah, we've made some strides in the right direction. We're getting a little bit of pay raise. That makes me happy. We are going to be getting some infrastructure help. We're going to be getting some fleet assistance with the aged vehicles that we've got in the department. It's really a good thing. The budget can be read. MyFlorida.com probably has a link to it. I don't know exactly how to get there, but it is what it is. But enough about that. Let's go on to what I actually recorded this video for, and that is the last in the series of jobs that an officer can hold on shift at a Department of Corrections facility, and that is the control room officer. Folks, there is no busier place that you can work inside a correctional institution than inside that control room. We staff it with an officer and a sergeant. I think that's inadequate. In all actuality, you need 4 people to run that control room the way it needs to be run. What I would like to see, which I'm not going to see, but what I would like to see, a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 2 officers. That would be phenomenal. Lieutenant, sergeant, 2 officers, maybe even a secretary. Man, there's a lot of work that goes in, and I'm at a relatively small institution. We don't even have an annex. There is so much work that goes on in that control room. It's amazing. It's amazing that these people can go in there 12 hours a night, 12 hours a day, and do that job day after day after day after day after day. It's amazing. And I am very, very pleased to say that we've got some really, really good control room staff at the facility that I work at. They're the type of staff that when they're not at work, they are missed. And that is a rarity. The stuff that you can look forward to in the control room is tabulation of all inmate counts, accountability of all equipment, accountability of all keys, the issuance of said equipment and the issuance of said keys, as well as the return of all those items. Mentioned maintaining an accurate count, maintaining a log, if an incident kicks off that is outside of the normal operations, the control room becomes the focal point of the incident. That's where all the communications are going to go through, is the control room. So they've literally got to stop everything and go deal with this, which is why I'm saying there's not enough staff to have just 2 people in there. But hey, it is what it is. So yeah, you want to be a control room officer? There's a few things that you got to have. Okay, number 1, you got to have the ability to type. You got to have the ability to organize. You have to have great communication skills. You have to be able to work with numbers quite well. When you've got, just to throw some numbers out there, when you got 1,500 inmates in 9 different locations, that's 9 different locations that you've got to add up. And this is when everybody's in their housing unit. That's 9 different locations. You've got to add up and make sure everybody's there. But then, let's say you've got food service, laundry, inside grounds, the chapel, medical, dental, classification, schoolhouse, vocational training area, whatever other programs you might have going on, 4 or 5 of them at a time, and all of them have an out count. That gets rough. I'm not going to lie, it's much easier to work the control room on night shift than it is on day shift. But at the facility that I work at, man, them folks in the control room are rock stars. They're awesome. They really are. One comment that I hear from staff members on that compound is that the people in the control room were rude to me. The people in the control room were mean to me. Whatever. Okay. If you feel that person was rude to you, I promise you it was not their intent. If it was their intent, it's because you've been incessantly bugging them all day or all night. 9 times out of 10, it was not their intent to be rude. They're just that busy. Okay? I personally feel that in order for you to have the right to complain about the control room, you need to have walked a mile in them shoes. Okay? If you've not worked that control room, you have no right to complain about the control room. That is a very, very busy place. I've worked in the control room as an officer. I'm going to date myself. When I was an officer in the control room, there was not a computer in that room. Everything was done on IBM's electric typewriters, a piece of paper with a calculator. That's how we did everything. The inmates that we had, we kept face sheets for them in binders. And man, look here, the binders that we had in there, if you were looking for an inmate, you might be looking for him for a good 20 minutes just in the paperwork. Find out where he's at. It was a different time. Now, computers have made things easier, much easier, but I honestly feel that the control room officer has suffered from having a computer in there, because let's say a count's going sideways and you don't know, you're missing an inmate. It's probably a miscalculation somewhere along the line. I'm not going to lie to you. We don't have inmates just run all the time, contrary to what you may or may not have been told in the news media or various forms of fictional entertainment, television, or movies. We don't have escapes all the time. It doesn't happen. So we're going to do our level best to try to figure out if we have messed up our math. And one of the things that I like to do as the shift supervisor, I will go in there and I will check behind that officer to make sure that they haven't overlooked something. Not saying they didn't do a good enough job, just saying they are busy. And a second set of eyes might do a whole lot of good to help figure out what's going on in there. But the younger control room officers, they always look at me like I'm growing a third eye in the middle of my forehead when I pick up a calculator and start tabulating what they've got on paper, because they're so used to doing it on a computer and letting the spreadsheet do it for them. I think that the control room officers are suffering because of the computer. I don't think that they're exercising their brain as much as they need to maintain their level of sharpness that they need. Some of them do. I'm not going to lie to you, some of them do. But you put a new officer in there, man, they are all about what that computer can do for them instead of what that calculator can do. Folks, I'm not going to expound too much more on the control room officer. I just want to go on record as saying that without a control room officer that's really worth his salt or her salt, the captain could not do his job. The control room sergeant wouldn't be able to do their job. That control room officer is and has to be a special breed in order to do that job 12 hours a day, day in and day out. That's all I got for the control room officer, folks. Love your control room officers. If they're mean, they don't mean to be. Trust me, they don't mean to be. Go ahead and walk a mile in their shoes if you think I'm kidding. They are the busiest people you're ever going to meet at a correctional facility is that control room officer, okay? As always, I am on a crusade. Love shouldn't hurt. If you're in an abusive relationship, please find a way out of it. If you know somebody that's in an abusive relationship, help them get out of it. And if you know somebody that's on the other side of the abusive relationship as the aggressor, say something. Say something to someone. Don't let that continue. Okay? I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. Okay? People in law enforcement are a community. As a community, we have got to take care of one another. And remember, domestic violence is real. Domestic violence is dangerous. Domestic violence can often lead to unfortunate things such as suicide. Okay? Love shouldn't hurt. If you know somebody that needs help, help them. If you are somebody that needs help, say something. Okay? It's Dave Smith, Correctional Officer Lifestyle. I'm going to say goodbye for this video. I'll see you on the next video. If you like what you see, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so that you get a notification when I post a new video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.